The Grim Reaper was harvesting the grandmother's soul, just in time for the little girl peeping through the door to see it. As soon as the grandmother stepped through the door, the lifeline behind her disappeared. At that moment, the Grim Reaper suddenly turned around. He looked at the little girl lying on the door. The Grim Reaper then disappeared outside the door. After the god of death left, the little girl immediately rushed into the room. Looking at the white mist on the floor, she pondered. At that moment, there was a sudden sound of footsteps outside the house. The girl rushed out of the house to check. It turned out to be a doctor who was trying to save a patient. The girl followed the patient to the ward. The white mist on the floor reappeared. The Grim Reaper passed through the gates of heaven and came to the ward again. He summoned the patient's soul. Having completed his mission, he was about to leave when the little girl suddenly followed him. She asked the Grim Reaper if she could follow them through the gate. After a moment's hesitation, Death nodded in favor of the little girl. Just as the little girl was about to leave, she was pulled back by the lifeline behind her. It turned out that the girl was seriously ill. She's been lying in the hospital bed for months. She relies on medical equipment to keep her alive. Her mom has been taking care of her every day and is not willing to give up. Looking at the critical notice on the bed, she cried helplessly by her side. She didn't want her daughter to leave her at such a young age. The daughter came to her mother's side in pain. Listening to her mother's cries, she was very distressed. The Grim Reaper looked at the mother and daughter and quietly walked over to the woman. He summoned the woman's soul. The woman was terrified at the sight of death, but when she turned around, she saw her daughter, who was dying. She touched her daughter's thin face and held her in her arms. In order to make her mother happy, the girl gave her mom her favorite bear doll. She hoped that the bear could stay with her mom instead of herself. When mom woke up and saw the bear doll in front of her, she couldn't hold back her tears any longer. The daughter looked at her mom in pain. Although she didn't want to let go, she still followed the Grim Reaper and left this place, because she wanted her mom to get out of the shadow and start a new life.